Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for watching this video. It's been a few days since I've done the last video. Thank you everyone for that last video. There was a lot of people watching and I really appreciate that. Hopefully we can get a lot more people watching today. And yeah, we're here again in Chile with Inti.
Hello everyone. This time I'm on
This
screen.
This time, yes, he's right here. This time, say I forgot to put you on the screen.
Oh
There you
man,
go.
I was looking at the camera and hey.
There we go. So we got
Oh,
we
I
got
know
a
what you're
camera
saying
here
to
for
me.
Inti there. So yeah. So when he's doing his reading off the questions, you'll be able to see him this time instead of like wondering, oh, who's that person speaking in the background, right?
Who's
So,
that annoying kid?
yeah.
uh,
Alrighty, so anyways, yeah, today's show we're going to be talking about whether or not Bitcoin's going to be pumping or dumping or even probably going sideways, right? With your real fake Satoshi here, opposed to the fake Satoshi, which is Craig Wright. Oh my God, that guy! This is just jokes, Craig Wright. I don't know how people actually listen to this guy, but it's unbelievable. But that's just the way it is. Anyways, today we are gonna. I'd like to, before we start off today's show, I'd like to point out that in the link in the description below, right, you can just see it right here. We have some comment section. We have like what we're going to be talking about. We're also going to be talking about Peter Schiff today, and how he just discovered that you know what, he was just made a mistake with bitcoins and didn't understand it. So, but he still believes it's going to zero because he doesn't understand it, right? And doesn't understand how to use it. But whatever. And then we're also going to talk about the government coins that are coming, and Bitcoin's market cap is a balance sheet around, it was a government balance sheet rounding error. Basically, we're going to talk about how Bitcoin's market cap is so tiny that yeah, we are going to see Bitcoin in the trillions of dollars very soon and very fast. Yeah, and then of course I want you guys to take a look at. I want to give Carolina some love, right? Because she's not been getting any love on her blog. So if we can head over there and give her some likes and loves on her blog and check out what she's written, that would be greatly appreciated. And I'm sure she would like that. And that's her little fingers there, right there, in that picture there. So yeah, check out her blog, and I hope you guys like what she has to offer, guys. She's a great writer. Alrighty, so let's head over to the main event of today, which is the crypto and technical analysis. Well, as I said before, right, over the past few weeks, I said that, you know what, we were here, and I said that Bitcoin was going to go up here, possibly touch this line up here, but it didn't quite do that. And then when we dumped down, I don't know if I did a video. I remember thinking, oh my God, Bitcoin's going to move back up a little bit before it dumps again. And what did it do? It cleared the gap. I think, yeah, that's right. We talked about a gap on one of the videos this week, and it cleared the gap and then it went straight back down. So yeah, where is it going from here? Is it going to continue going down? Is it going to come back up? That's the $1 million question. As you can see, Bitcoin is turning around here. Now, I'd like to do. You know what? I've never done this in a while, and I'm just thinking that the GAN square might give us some information that. Let's see here. Where would we put that? Right here. Yeah. Because that's the next pivot. Yeah, so that's where we would start the GAN study. And you can see here that these round humps, right? These rounding areas are basically resistance areas where the market will have some problem, and if it breaks through, right, it's going up to the next resistance area, and then you can see here it goes through, it tries to cut through this resistance area and then pumps up and tries to get to the next resistance area on the GAN study. and then rolls back, and you can see it's not breaking through this these kind of things are called speed bumps, I guess, and they are basically where the market has to break through in order to pass on the Gann study. Um, the Gann square of 9. Now, we also have like this 45-degree angle, which is where markets tend to trend. Trending markets upwards is tend to trend along the 45-degree axis. You know what? We should also put in the these ones. These ones are very important. They're like almost a line in the sand. 78.6 is the line in the sand for the markets on the Fibonacci study, right? But for the Gann study, the Gann square study, the 1/8 lines are the line in the sand, is where the market has to protect that, or else it's gonna either break higher or break down, right? So yeah, those are the key areas of Gann square. So basically, if we come down all the way down here anytime soon to 7,000, so let's just say we get down here into this pass into here, we could see that market has to like not hold this level here, right around 7,000, in order to stay above and stay relevant and stay higher. If it breaks down, it means that there's going to be some serious problems. So yeah, I think this Gann study is pretty relevant. I'm sure you haven't seen this before. It's pretty difficult to draw because you need to align your charts correctly, or else it doesn't work. And so yeah, so this is why I don't usually use Gann study, and I'm not even sure if this I did this exactly right. I think I'd have to do a little bit more analysis on the price, the ratio, because this has to be the ratio of time to price has to be a relevant ratio in order for it to work properly. But I still like Gann. I like Gann because you can see, as you can see, that there is a definite correlation once you set this up correctly and you do the from the bottom to the pivot low, or you can do this from the opposite direction as well. But I'm not going to do that right now, so because this is not a class on Gann study. So, alrighty, so we did learn a little bit from that chart, and I could say that Bitcoin probably has some more downward pressure to go. I don't think it's gonna. If we looked at that, if I shouldn't have taken that off, but the Gann study showed that, you know what, we're probably not gonna pass through very easily on the next speed bump, and so I would say maybe down to the 8,000 level is where the most likely air scenario. That's where we're gonna be going. Now, if we take the fibs, because I like the fibs because Bitcoin loves its 61.8, just loves 61.8 to death. And I wouldn't be surprised if we're doing a little bit of 61.8 ping pong between this pivot low here. And so we're talking the 61.8 at $7,500. So a dip down there is not out of the question. So be careful, people. If you're doing some trading on this, I would not be looking for a long until we saw some sort of a reversal pattern in the charts, most likely in the 4 hour. So if we were to go down to the 4 hour, what we're looking for is some sort of reversal pattern. Now, I would say, looking at the 4 hour, we're looking very strong. We look like we want to bounce off of the bottom here. We're going to cross on the MACD, so a little bit of a upward movement, probably above the 13 EMA for a little while, and then we're going to roll back down. So look for that, maybe to take open up a short position, if you're willing to look at the lower time frames, because then you'd have to once we move up, you'd have to examine the lower time frames, like the hourly, and hang on, well, and then see if if there's any kind of divergence, and this is like gets into oversold territory and so forth, to really get into a short. And that's why I mean, you have to like sit there for so long when you're trying to day trade, and hope that you catch your signal. That this is why I don't like to day trade. I prefer swing trading with the little old lady, right? That's much better, right? Because you know what, she can just set it and forget it. That's what I like. You don't have to like, okay, I've got to analyze every single tick, every single hour, in order to determine whether or not I'm going to go into a short or a long position. Now, this also works on a long-term basis. The technical analysis. However, again, the problem with technical analysis is that you're not right 100% of the time. You're right, like if you're right 50% or more, then you can make money. And the problem with long-term technical analysis of swing trading is that there are going to be a set of losses that take time to recover from, right? So, for example, you're looking for a trade, like let's just say you're looking for a day trade, a swing trade on the dailies, and let's just say we take the 61.8, which is a decent trade right there, and then you get stopped out here. This trade on the day trade on a swing trade would basically allow you to you could lose this trade, and then you go, okay, well, I gotta wait for the next setup. Well, that could take days, weeks, months before you actually can do the next trade. And so what tends to happen is a lot of people overtrade and become like furious and angry because they lost money on that last trade, and they're like, okay, well, I got to get it back, and so that's where you fall into the trap. So don't do that when you're getting into trading. So avoid that problem. So for the average person, I think the best thing for them to do is just dollar cost average, and not bother with this technical analysis and just buy the dips from the dips, right? Who actually sell the Bitcoin. And that's how that's really effectively how most industry players do work, is that they're only allowed to buy down markets. See, they're allowed to buy these candles, all these red candles. They're allowed to buy these red candles. They're buying this red candle. They're buying, right? And then if there's more red candles, they're buying. That's how they work. They can't buy this green candle. That's just redonkulous for them, and you can see why. It just rolls over on them, right? So yeah, they're not allowed to buy up markets. They only can buy down markets. And so yeah, you can act like them and only buy down markets, because that's where you're going to make the most profit, is when you're buying markets going down. All right, with that said, let's head over to our news articles for today. And one is, like, you can find it right on our video. I'm going to click on it right now. It's Peter Schiff. He really thinks that Bitcoin is fundamentally flawed because he did not back up his own money, and I could see how he would feel that way, because the whole everything that he uses has somebody else taking care of him, right? Worrying about whether or not he can, like his gold, for example. He doesn't hold his gold and make sure that his gold is actually secure. His life savings of gold is secure. No, he doesn't do that. He lets somebody else do that. He lets somebody else take responsibility. For his bank account, he doesn't make sure that his bank account is secure, his password is secure, his pins are secure. He lets somebody else take care of that. He lets another person babysit him, and this is his lifestyle. This is his understanding, and he wants everything to work the same way. Well, no. Well, things that are new work completely different. That's like saying, well, you know what? I'm used to a calculator, and this computer thing, it doesn't work like a calculator, and so because it doesn't work like a calculator, and I have to like save my stuff, and not to, also it will all get lost and stuff like that, and it's really difficult to use. It means it doesn't work. It's fundamentally flawed because it doesn't work like a calculator. I mean, this is ridiculous, right? You have to understand how the technology works before you go and use it, and you didn't do that, right? So that doesn't mean the technology is fundamentally flawed. It means that the way you think, the way you work in today is fundamentally flawed. This new system, right? Whether it's moving from a calculator to computer, or Bitcoin to from dollars and banking, or gold and the current banking system to Bitcoin, you have to work and think a little bit differently than you used to, and so that's a difference. Now, I agree. Most people in his age category, and quite a few more people out there who are just used to our current system will 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 not appreciate the importance of backing up the 12-word passphrase. They'll not appreciate the importance of remembering their password, and that's a big problem for them, right? And so it's also for a big problem for adoption as well. Um, I think that the best solution for that is a decentralized trust organization, or basically where a company finds you a third party person that you can trust to secure your assets for you, and that can be done in such a way so that I came up with this new method that hey, only the person who's actually requesting the recovery of their wallet will actually do the recovery. And you're like, what? And so, yeah, it's just basically using a complex, like a lot of complex things with the way encryption works, in order to make sure that, for example, Grandma calls up Billy Bob and says, "Billy Bob, I lost my password," and through a third-party company, right? Billy Bob can restore. Can send the restore instructions to Grandma's computer and have her wallet restored. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I think should be the future. And you know what? I think I've been thinking about it so much that like I can't make this program. I want to so badly, but I have to finish. I have to focus because right now altcoins are popping off, and I can't. I need to focus on Pandora's wallet because I'm using it right now, and because there's just so many things going on. I think altcoins are about to explode, and I want to make sure that I'm well positioned to take advantage of that. Yes, sorry. So next news article is basically banker coins. Banker coins are not government coins, so not banker coins. Jesus, banker coins are a whole other issue. Government coins, right? Like this one, we've got like the U.S. Oh, wait a second. Oh, sorry, I missed that one. I forgot. I was going to talk about banker coins, but I guess I clicked on the wrong thing. Let's see here. Since we're talking, all right, I clicked on the wrong one. Let me just get back to that. Then we'll get on to the U.S. deficit rounding error stuff. Okay, so banker coins, like the Japanese who are currently working on their own digital currency. And I'm like, I have to wonder, like, what's the point? You already have a digital currency, right? The reason why your digital currency does not work very well is because you use it as a complete surveillance mechanism. You don't allow your what's it called, citizens to easily move money around except internally in the country. And if they want to leave with that money, it's very difficult. So that's the problem that you have with your digital currency. And the only thing you're going to do is the same thing, and you're going to have the same problem. You want to have complete control and prevent money from being moved. So you're going to end up with the same basic system where basically the money's too slow to move around and difficult in the across the world on the world stage. So I don't see these banker coins doing very well. I think we'll wait and see. Of course, right? They might actually become decentralized cryptocurrencies, and they'll come up with another method of like blocking people. But who knows? We'll see. But I don't see much success, and I wish them all the best. But you know what? As long as they can provide, as long as they can make this that we can actually do atomic swaps with this, that'd be great. Because then we don't have to hold their government coin. We can just hold bitcoins, and whenever the government says, "Hey, you got to accept government coin," you immediately convert it with an atomic swap to real money. Right? So yeah, so that would be that. Okay, so next topic is the U.S. deficit. Right, will be at least 6 times Bitcoin's market cap every year. So basically, the U.S. government is spending $1 trillion. Just the federal government, not your state government, not your municipality, right? Meaning your city, but your federal government if you're American. If we were to throw in all the rest of them, I'm sure this number would be insane. Right? So, yeah, I really think that Bitcoin's market cap is so tiny that it's just a rounding error on the government balance sheet. It's like, what? $2 billion? We could crush that, right? That's nothing. That's a mistake in our balance sheet. So that means Bitcoin's got a lot of room to fly, right? A 6x move, right, is nothing, right? It gets the government interested actually at a 6x move from here, and then I could see it doing at least a 10x, or even more from this point on. So yeah, I'm very bullish on Bitcoin. I'm looking forward for Bitcoin going higher. But I also want Bitcoin to grow and become something that everybody can use, because it is the future. Because it's a money that everyone has to work for. I went off on a rant with my friends, and I said that Bitcoin will stop the flow of money from the poor and the middle class to the rich, and go in the opposite direction from the rich to the poor and the middle class, because they will hold their money and they won't risk it on these stupid investments that these guys that are meant to steal your money and stuff like that, and then obviously increase the value of the bitcoins and stuff like that. And as the value of money increases, that means people who are poor and save everything they've got, well, their what's it called, living costs, their basically their living standards increase over time. So this is a much better system. And then of course we no longer have the inequality that people are talking about. That inequality will go away, because as you work harder or you retire, you'll notice things are actually getting cheaper and things are getting better and your life is improving. And so that's the most important thing that Bitcoin has to offer than just going to the moon and making a few people who are early adopters, and that's who you are, early adopters, rich. So that's Bitcoin is more than that. So just so you understand that. Okay. Now, Inti, it's time for our question and answer period. Because
Nice, my favorite part.
It's been 24 minutes. Wow, I've been chatting. I don't even like the sound of my voice like most people do, but whatever. Alrighty. What's the question for today? I got you on camera right now.
Okay, hello people. We got this was at the beginning of the stream from Dimitriev, I think it's called. Hey, what is the best investment for the next 10 years? Really simple question.
The best investment for the next 10 years. Okay, so
In your opinion.
okay, if you had the option, that all depends, right? If you had the option, if you had $10,000 right now, I were to give everyone $10,000 right now, and you were to say, and I were to say that you were going to go to jail and you're not going to be able to move your money, you could have $10,000 in the U.S. bonds, you could have $10,000 in gold, or you could have $10,000 in Bitcoin, right? Or $10,000 in silver is another option, right? The actual best option probably would, if you were like willing to gamble on Bitcoin, yes, you're gonna see the most returns with Bitcoin if you were to put $10,000 in Bitcoin today. The next best one would be silver, and after that, obviously gold. And if you want to lose all your wealth, the U.S. bonds, treasury bonds. So if you want to guarantee that you will have 10,000 more than slightly over, just a little bit more than $10,000, like maybe $10,100. Yeah, you can go for bonds, man. But you're guaranteed to have the more than $10,000, but not more wealth. A lot less. You'll have a lot less wealth. So yeah, that's where I feel is the best investment is Bitcoin, but it's higher risk. The lower risk and best investment advice would be silver. That one will give you a higher probability of return with a lower downside risk than obviously the U.S. dollar, gold, and Bitcoin, because Bitcoin can there's no hiding behind this. You can't hide this and say, well, hey, you know what? This is not true. No, it is true. Bitcoin can go to zero because there could be a failure. There could be a problem. There could be an issue that was not thought of. This is a software. This is an idea. This is an invention that is being tested still, and there could be a flaw. And the fact that we're using math that we know for sure will be broken, right, in the future, right, makes it also an issue as well. So you have to accept those vulnerabilities in Bitcoin. So and consider that when you're investing. So yeah, you're going to take a big risk. A lot of people out there want to hit one out of the park and go for broke. And if you're young, if you have no kids and you have no responsibilities, right? Yeah, throw it all on Bitcoin and see what happens. That's has a asymmetrical risk there, right? And sure, because you're young, if Bitcoin were to fail, and there is a percentage chance, I think it's a very small percent, probably like 2% or less, the odds are that you're going to be extremely wealthy if you go all in on Bitcoin. It's a risk, but if you're wrong, right? Long as you build yourself up personally, make sure that you as a person can use the knowledge and continue to earn more money and wealth, that you will be able to recover from that particular loss. So make sure that you can do that. And who knows, if you study programming and crypto and stuff like that, this will be rebooted. even if it dies, and so you'll be able to recover easily if you're young. As for the rest of us who are older and wiser, I would not go more than 5%, and then just to make sure that you don't destroy your family's savings and wealth and the rest, just in case of the unlikely event that Bitcoin goes to zero. You can't do that unless your whole family, like for example, that person who sold his whole house and everything to buy bitcoins and stuff like that. His whole family are in it together. They all believe in it together, and they're all willing to accept the risk and live a lower lifestyle whilst they wait for Bitcoin to do what they expect it to do. And if that's your family, if you see that that's your family, that's fine. That can work. But other than that, not more than 5%. So yeah. All right, next question.
That does not happen every day, so most of
No.
people will take a more conservative approach, I think.
Exactly.
Even I would do it.
Exactly.
I believe in Bitcoin, and even I would do it.
Exactly.
About that topic, we have two questions. One is from, I had to find it. Yes. This is from Mergov Yahia, and ask, should we invest in physical silver or in paper silver? It's a pretty obvious question, but it's worth asking, right?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, right? You understand that paper silver is just basically a derivative. When you do that, most chances are, not every single one. Because like if you go to goldandsilver.com, they're not going to give you paper silver. He's going to store it for you in the Brinks warehouse, right? But with the way our market is, right, and it's institutionalized fraud. You're guaranteed that wherever you go, you're probably you have a 90% chance you're going to get paper silver, which is just a derivative, meaning the person's taking the other side of the bet, and the government and the banking system is backing it up through paper money and promising, hey, you know what? If silver goes to the moon, and you lose all this money by taking the negative side of that bet, and silver goes high, the Federal Reserve will just print the money and give it to you. Right, so and this can be done right through the exact same thing that they're doing through their repo operations. You're basically just creating a security certificate, which is a debt-based instrument that the Federal Reserve can purchase, even if it's underwater, right? And that's what they do. So the Federal Reserve is purchasing assets that are completely underwater and that are worthless. Because they've made these promises in order to help keep the dollar strong, right? So this is why we have such a system where people are willing to basically sell you a paper silver, even though they could go bankrupt if silver goes higher, but this actually effectively reduces the value of silver and causes silver to keeping being oppressed, because people are interested in buying just the ETF, which has no silver and not guaranteeing you the silver, and you're not going to get the silver. Somebody else will, but not you. So there is some silver behind the ETF. I do agree there is, but you're not getting it. Right, somebody else's. That's just paper silver for you. But for big boys, that's real silver. For you, it's just another paper silver. So I would avoid any kind of paper silver contract at all, and actually make sure that if you have enough money, go to where your silver is. If you want to use some storage mechanism, go there and see that it's there. See that it's yours. See that. Especially if you have the stamped number and it's allocated, it's yours. Make sure that that's there, and then you have some sort of peace of mind. All right. So with that said, next question.
Next question. This is from Alex Crypto. Usually have good questions here. It says, I have a noob question. Okay.
Okay.
If all BTC miners stop mining at the same time, would this be the end of Bitcoin or will it still survive? And I think it's pretty obvious, but I want to hear your answer.
Assuming that somehow, for some reason, obviously that would mean Bitcoin was flawed. If everybody decided to stop mining, then of course, it's not going to work. So there's nothing much to say about that, because without mining, basically no one can assume that a transaction will be correct, because somebody else can actually just double spend that transaction away, the person who spent it. So without the miner, so even if we just had all the nodes for some reason, no miners, there's no way Bitcoin can continue functioning without the miners, because the person who sent the money can actually just change the fee and move it to someplace else. So that's that. All right, next question.
All right. So let's see. Okay. This is interesting. This is from Moshe Karemu, and ask, what do you think about Bitcoin will do this year before and after halving? And I remember that as everyone, we discussed it, remember? Mm-hmm. As everyone thinks that the halving is a bullish event, I may not be wrong, mm-hmm. It could mean also that institutions could take advantage and make it bearish at a certain level. What do you think about that?
Yeah, well, we did talk about that many times, and I'll show you. I'll do this once more. Show you this chart here. I'm trying to pull it up, and it's not coming. Great. Alrighty, let me see if I can pull it up on this page here. Hang on. There we go. There it is, and it's right here. So this chart is a possibility. Not saying it's going to happen this way. It's a possibility. Right, so keep that in mind. Right, it's only a possibility. So, with that said, there's this bat that's showing up here that could indicate that Bitcoin gets up to 17,000 and dumps back down to around 10,000. Should the price get into this area here? Is it possible that this is possible? Yeah, it's possible. Is it probable? I'd have to say I'd give it like a 30% chance of happening. That's a very low percentage chance. But if we're up there, that's what I would expect, a reversal. If we get up there, that's the point of doing this chart. And it's possible for the big boys to do that, to push the market up all the way up there, and only to dump it down so that they can get your Bitcoins, basically, because that's all they're going to be doing it. That's all this market is about. When it goes up, when we see this, all this move is a manipulation move, so that you will get rid of your Bitcoin so that they can get it at a lower price. And then this move right here is all them, so they are getting your Bitcoins. And this move up here is so that they can get your Bitcoins, because you're holding. Too many people are hodlers, so they push up the price and they dump it back down so they can get your Bitcoins. And this is what they do, right? And they'll continue doing that so they can get all your Bitcoins, so they can profit in the next big wave, and you get set on the sideline. So make sure that doesn't happen to you. You buy low and you sell high, and that's it. You buy prices going down, and you sell when the price is going up. That's it. All right. Next question.
All right, next question. So we have, let's see. Yeah, this should do. Sensila me and ask, Davinci, have you ever traded a contract for difference? CFDs.
Sorry, have I ever traded what?
CFDs, contract for difference.
CFDs. Oh, CFDs. Oh, that's basically that's when you're like, for example, I'm in Chile, right? And I want to invest in a market that's not here, right? As from what I know from CFDs, is basically you want to invest in a stock that's not here, and you and in the country, and you use a CFD basically as a company that goes and buys the stock and posts it on the market here. Um, and then you could do that through what's it called? I mean, I've been to what's it called? One broker who was doing this kind of illegally, and yeah, it's really difficult to get the license for CFDs. But the only time I've traded it is with one broker, and yeah, they went under because that's just there's no way that or that they had the license to do that. So and they didn't, and so they closed, and that was that. But yeah, I have done it in a sense, and I have done it on the Canadian stock market as well. So it's not a big deal. Um, yeah. So next question.
Okay, this is from Crow King. And says, "Greets Davinci. What is your plan to get out of crypto during next bull run top? What assets would you exit to?
Excellent question.
And especially with the concerns with a real economic crisis coming."
Excellent question. Because let's just assume that the Federal Reserve holds this thing up together for the next 2 to 3 years. Unlikely, but you know what? They could pull a rabbit out of their hat. Just say that happens, right? What would be the asset to go to? Obviously I don't want to sell at the top, near the top, into dollars, but I want to go to gold, and so but I don't trust all the gold that's out there. There's a lot of gold that I don't trust, and I don't want to hold gold because I want to be nimble. I want to be able to make sure that the government doesn't like come after me easily and take my gold, right? So the best thing to do is to have a digital gold, a gold-backed currency, basically. Yeah, I'm going to be running the risk of them not having the gold, the government coming and taking the gold from them. Um, those are the risks of going into gold, and you have to accept that. I think those risks are just as bad. I think that risk is just as bad as Bitcoin going to zero, basically. The safest route is to actually have the gold in your possession, but it makes you a target, and then it makes it difficult for you to liquidate back into Bitcoin when it's time to do so, because then the government will be coming to get you. So that's always an issue, right? So that's why the best thing to do is the digital gold, because the probability that the government comes and gets you are a lot higher for me, I think. If you were to just, hey, you know what, I've got these Bitcoins, and then I can switch to physical gold, and then I'm going to hold the physical gold and then go switch back to Bitcoin when the time's right. And yeah, I see the government basically going, hold up, wait a minute. You can't do that. So yeah, I can't take that risk and I don't trust them. I think that risk is a lot higher than if you were to risk holding buying a digital gold asset from multiple different locations and stuff like that, so that you can like spread out the risk. And so I'm probably going to use Volturo or something like that to basically switch into gold and have a digital gold coin, and then once the time's right, I'll switch back to Bitcoin, because what could happen in the collapse, right? Let's just say the dollar is collapsing during the next the super bull, after the final bull run of Bitcoin, and then and Bitcoin just starts to roll over, but then realizes, hey, wait a second, the dollar is collapsing, and then it starts going higher. But what could happen is that the dollar goes down, but the value of your Bitcoin is not going up, and that's harder to see, very hard to see. And that's usually occurs that happens with stocks, right? People are buying up the stocks thinking that they're saving their money, but meanwhile, the value of that stock is actually going down in comparison to the money that's going down even faster. And so you don't see the value being dissipated until you go out and buy something real and tangible. And so you'll see that when gold is going crazy, and basically you divide the price of gold to the Bitcoin, and if you see that dropping, right, the gold price of Bitcoin priced in gold is falling, then you know that you're losing value basically. So, yeah, that's my thoughts for today. Thank you everyone for your questions. I noticed I didn't get any super chats, and and the likes are a little bit low here. And if you like this video, please hit the like button, and if not, right, the other one works just as well. Before I close off today's video, I must talk about Pandora's wallet. I'm still working. I'm using Pandora's wallet to trade and stuff like that, and I'm giving an offering today and today only. 40% off if you buy 5 years, right? Quite a few people have purchased 5 years, and I thank you for that. You will also be part of the chat group in Telegram. So if you're a Pandora's Wallet subscriber, you'll be there as well with us. And yeah, I hope to, if you're interested in this unique opportunity, and of course, I think I'm going to be I will be switching this to a decentralized exchange wallet, and I'm going to be probably using a token. So people who have purchased Pandora's wallet will be receiving those tokens for free, of course, as well. So yeah, look for that. So thank you everyone for watching today's video. And if you haven't seen this video right here popping up on this side or that side or whatever side, right?
or somewhere in the screen.
Somewhere on the screen, please check it out. All right, thank you for watching. Cheers. Bye now.
Bye.
Say bye to everybody. Cheers.